Okay, so read this question and tell me how you will solve it. Is my presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So a certain fiber reinforced composite has a fiber volume fraction of about 50%. Calculate the strength to first failure. That means at what stress will the first failure happen under transverse load? Yield strength of the matrix is 50 megapascal. And this is the Skudra chart. So how can we solve this problem? So first let us try to, I will solve for carbon fiber, then you can try for glass fiber. So for carbon fiber, E fiber by E matrix is about 5. Notice that the x-axis is logarithmic, y-axis is linear. Okay. This chart tells us for a certain fiber volume fraction and for a certain ratio of the modulus, what is the stress concentration factor? And the strength is 50 divided by the stress concentration factor. So we have to look at this chart, try to calculate the stress concentration factor. So for carbon fiber, it is about 5, which will come to be somewhere here maybe. Okay. And the stress concentration will be somewhere here. So the stress concentration factor for carbon fiber in the transverse direction, this is 1, 1.25, let us say 1.2. So the answer is 50 divided by 1.2 is 40 megapascal. So what is the answer for glass fiber? You can take the so each curve you can say is 0 0.4, 0 0.45, 0 0.5, 0 0.55, 0 0.6, 0 0.7. So 0 0.5 is this third curve. What is the value of the stress concentration factor? Can you look and guess? Once again, let us do the same thing. Control C.
It's around 1.75.
1.25, 1 point, yeah, around 1.75. Let us say 1.75. So the answer is, how much is the strength of the composite?
28.5 megapascal.
50 divided by 1.7, है ना?
Yes, sir.
9.41 megapascal. The strength of the composite is yield strength of the matrix divided by the stress concentration factor. Has everybody understood how to solve problems like this?
Sir, will you
Yes, sir.
please sir, will you please explain how to take readings from this Kudra chart once more?
Is Young's modulus ratio, EF by EF. E of the fiber divided by E of the matrix. We have to take care of the E2. That is the transverse modulus of the fiber if it is not isotropic. This x-axis is logarithmic. Y-axis is linear. Okay. And different curves are for different fiber volume fraction. So lowest is 0.4, 0.45, 0.5, 0.55, 0.6, and 0.7. Okay. Now, first thing we have to do is when I say carbon fiber, so what is the value of EFR by EM for carbon fiber? The number is about 5. The transverse modulus of carbon fiber, usually we take it to be 15 gigapascal. Young's modulus of the matrix is about 3 gigapascal. So it is 5. So in the x-axis, I try to find out where is 5. So let us say the 5 is here. Okay. And if I draw a vertical line, at what point is this intersecting my curve? Maybe it is intersecting somewhere here. Is the lines that I'm drawing visible or not? It is faint. Now I think it is better. So at what point is this red line intersecting my curve? So we are saying somewhere it is here by the second red line that I'm just drawing. So the value of stress concentration, each is 1.25. So I'm taking it to be around 1.2. Okay. So 50 divided by 1.2, if my reinforcement is carbon fiber, strength is 40 megapascal. Now, for glass, this number is about 24. Young's modulus of glass fiber is 72, matrix is 3, so about 24. 10, 20, 24. Somewhere here it will come. Okay. And the third curve is for the volume fraction 0.5. So I'm drawing another curve here. It is little bit below 1.75. Let us take it to be 1.74 or 1.75, whatever you like. Because anyways, these calculations are very approximate. So the strength is 50 divided by 1.74 equal to 29. Okay. And important things to keep in mind are the following. Mukesh is asking, sir, in x-axis it is log 5. Yes. So I'm saying that this line, dotted line, is where x is equal to 5. X-axis is log. Or are you saying that since it is log, it should be somewhere here? Is this what you are saying, Mukesh? That we should take this dotted line that I have drawn? Mukesh. Mukesh, I did not understand your point. Can you explain?
Sir, log 5 is less than 1. Around.
This is logarithmic already. We don't have to take log 5. Like this is 10, this is 100. I mean to say that the distance between 1 to 10 is not 10 times smaller than 10 to 100. It is same. So it is already logarithmic. You don't have to take the log of that value.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So important things to keep in mind is the Skudra chart for transverse loading and shear loading will be different. Number one. Number two, x-axis is logarithmic. So I mean, if this is 10, then the double of it is not 20. In the x-axis, if you travel double the length, it will become 100. So keep these two things in mind. Okay. And of course, you have to keep in mind that this is only the starting point of damage. It is the first failure. We are not modeling progressive failure. That what happens after damage, that is hard to model using simple analytical methods. Is this clear? Can
Yes,
I go
sir.
to next question? Anybody has any doubts, or I can go to next question? Okay, let us go to next question. Consider a unidirectional composite material made of brittle fiber and ductile matrix. What is the fiber volume fraction so that strength of the composite is equal to strength of the matrix? All the data that you need is provided. Please try to solve this. You can, I think all the material has been uploaded. You can look at different formulas, or maybe I can put it. So please read this question. In the meantime, let me try to look for the relevant formulas. So the first thing you have to ask, so this is a case of brittle fiber ductile matrix. If my fiber is brittle, matrix is ductile, even and for this condition, what is the fiber volume fraction so that strength of the composite is equal? When this happens, what do you think? The volume fraction is going to be high or low to satisfy the condition that I have highlighted? At low volume fraction, the strength of the composite is equal to strength of the matrix, or at high fiber volume fraction, do you think it will happen?
High fiber.
Low fiber.
Low.
Low.
At very low fiber volume fractions actually. So now it means that I think this is wrong. 1 minute. And since my fiber is brittle, matrix is ductile, even after fiber fracture, matrix can still carry the applied load. So the strength of the composite is sigma m star into 1 minus Vf. What is the value of sigma m star? How had we defined sigma m star? Sigma m star was the ultimate tensile strength of the matrix. Remember, it is my yellow presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So remember, we had done this. So this is this case. Sigma m star is the ultimate tensile strength of the matrix. So if I go to my problem statement, what is the value? It is 75. So it will come out to be 75 is equal to 75 into 1 minus Vf. So what is the value of Vf?
0.
0. So this condition can only be satisfied if the volume fraction is 0. For any other fiber volume fractions, the strength is going to be slightly different. Now, can you solve the problem? What is the fiber volume fraction that is needed so that the strength of the composite is double that of the strength of the matrix?
1. Minus 1.
Minus 1?
So sorry, sir. Sorry.
Now, if it is given that if the strength of the composite is double, you don't know whether Vf you should put low or Vf you should put high. again, if we go back to our study material, our curve was like this. Okay. So the strength of the composite is equal to strength of the matrix at two fiber volume fractions. The first one is VF is equal to 0. You also have to find out the second point. Can you find out this coordinate of this point that I have drawn? We are still at the first part of the problem. Second part we'll solve later. The red line that I have drawn shows a coordinate axis where the strength of the matrix is equal to strength of the composite. What is the value of the volume fraction? How can you find that?
Sir, please show the question once again. Sir, is it 0.055?
I'm going back to this slide. So how are we solving it? So we know that the nature of the strength comes out to be something like this, okay? That it decreases and then it increases. So the strength of the composite is equal to strength of the matrix for two fiber volume fractions. One is when the volume fraction is 0 and the other one is for second volume fraction. Now, the second line that you see, this line at the right hand side, this is due to the second equation. I mean, if I go to my slide, it is due to this equation. The volume fraction is above the critical. So this point where these two lines meet is the critical fiber volume fraction. Below that is low. We say that it is low. Above that it is high fiber volume fraction. For low fiber volume fraction, strength of the composite is strength of the matrix for volume fraction is equal to 0. On the right hand side of the critical point, we have to look at, if I go back to my question slide, the first equation. Okay. Now, if I look at this first equation, sigma f star is 500 into VF plus 50 into 1 minus VF is equal to 50. What is the value of VF?
0.055.
So it is
0.055.
5.5%, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now if the question comes to be what is the fiber volume fraction? So if I want to calculate for what is the fiber volume fraction needed so that the strength of composite is double. In that case, do you have to consider both the conditions VF is high and VF is low, or you can only look at one and you can solve the problem?
So only look at one.
Only look at one. Once again, we'll just look at this plot that we had discussed. At the low fiber volume fraction region, the maximum strength of the composite is equal to the matrix strength. If you want to make the strength of your composite above the matrix strength, the volume fraction has to be at the right hand side of the critical fiber volume fraction. There is no need to check for twice. So now if I look at this, if it is double, then what I will get? I will get 500 into VF plus 50 into 1 minus VF is equal to 100. What is the value of VF?
0.22.
Something like that. Okay, so is this clear? Is this type of question clear?
Sir, in this case, we have to take ultimate strength or double of yield strength of matrix.
So
That right?
double of this value,
Yeah.
sigma m ultimate.
Okay, sir.
I mean, we don't really bother whether it is yield stress or ultimate stress. We are just looking at the strength of the matrix in these calculations. What is the strength? It can be yield stress. It could be the allowable strength also, for all we care. I mean, the fact that it is yield or it is the ultimate tensile strength or it is the allowable tensile strength, that is not coming into this picture, correct? It is, we are just looking at the maximum strength of the maximum stress that my matrix can take is 75. And what is happening at that 75? I'm not capturing that physics in that model, in these models.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but while solving problems like this, look at this curve that is given to you. Make sure you use the correct formulas. It can be that the matrix is brittle, fiber strain to failure is higher, or this case, if depending on this case, the formulas that you use are going to be slightly different. In real life and also in exams, you will have access to that formula. So you don't need to memorize anything, but you should know what is where and use the correct formulas. Okay. Any questions about this type of question? Can I go to question 3?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
say in the second part of it, we are saying that the strength of composite is equal to the strength of the matrix. So here, I think we should take the ultimate stress, huh? The 75 megapascal into 2.
That we have to take 75. It is the strength of the matrix. It is the maximum load that the matrix can take. It is 75, yes.
Okay, sir.
So it should be, sorry, it should be equal to 150 is equal to 50 into VF plus 50 into 1 minus VF. Let
Yes,
us
sir.
solve it again. I think you are right. There is some confusion. So strength of the composite is 75 is equal to 500 into VF plus 50 into 1 minus VF. So 25 is equal to 450 VF. VF is equal to 0.055. So the answer is volume fraction is 0.055 in the first case when the strength of the composite is equal to strength of the matrix. In the second case, it will come out to be 125 divided by 450. 27.77%. At fiber volume fraction of 0.277, strength of the composite is twice the strength of the matrix. This is strength of the matrix is 75, not 50. 50 is the stress in the matrix when my fiber is breaking. That is not the strength of the matrix. Strength of the matrix, you have to take it to be 75 megapascal.
So that should be.
Huh?
Sir, will you please write the equation for second part? I am getting. So in the left hand side, will the value will be 150, no? That is equal to
is equal to 500 into VF plus 50 into 1 minus VF.
Sir, in this case, answer is coming around 0.22.
0.27.
Sir, we are getting 0.22.
0.22 only coming, sir.
Let's see. So 150 is equal to 500 into x plus 50 into 1 minus x. X is equal to what? Hundred is equal to 450x. है ना? Correct? So I am getting
Yes,
yes,
sir.
100 is equal to 450x. X is 100 by 450. 100 divided by 450. 0.222, right? Sorry, my bad. I have made a calculation error. 0.222 is the correct answer. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I think the question was whether this should have been 150 or 100. The answer is 150. This is the strength of the matrix. 50 is not the strength of the matrix. 75 is the strength of the matrix. Okay, can I go to the next question?
Yes, sir.
So please read this question and then try to answer it. So what is the answer of the first bullet point? We have discussed in the class several times.
So we have to increase the fiber volume fraction.
That is one. What are the different ways? That is way one.
So we can incline it to a certain angle.
Two. Anything else we can do? I can think of four possibilities. One is increase fiber content. Okay. The second answer that I'm getting from you is use of axis lamina. Okay. I'm telling you there are two more ways. Can anybody tell me?
Increase stiffness of matrix.
Increase.
Temperature and moisture.
It will usually leads to a drop. Temperature and moisture will not increase your modulus. And temperature and moisture is not material property, it is application. I mean, you are making a material for an application, you cannot say chalo application ही change कर दो. The fourth answer is use hybrid composite, which means that you place some carbon fiber E2 is equal to 15 gigapascal with glass fiber E2 is equal to 72 gigapascal. Yes or no? Do you agree with the fourth option?
Yes, sir. It will increase
Yes, sir.
that.
Okay, so this is first part of the question. The second part is calculate the in-plane stiffness of continuous fiber composites with orientation 5 degree. What is the percentage rise or drop in the stiffness in the global 1 and 2 directions? So all the data is given here. Okay, formula is also given here. Please calculate the in-plane stiffness of continuous fiber composites with orientation 5 degrees. What is the percentage rise in stiffness or what is the percentage drop in stiffness? One component of stiffness will increase, one component of stiffness is expected to decrease. Just so that we are talking about the same thing, let me put a picture, okay? 1 minute, okay? Basically, we are saying something like this, that in the XY directions, what is the percentage drop? So global coordinate axis system in this context is the XY coordinate axis system as shown in the figure. You have to calculate what is the loss of stiffness as compared to 1-2 direction. What is the loss of stiffness in the XY? Fiber volume fraction, how will you calculate? Fiber volume fraction is not given. So how will you calculate? Actually, it is given. Sometimes it will be given, sometimes it will not be given. So if this statement was given, a continuous carbon fiber composite has effective modulus of 0.5. Usually you can expect something like this. So the expectations is the modulus of the fiber and the matrix is given. Transverse modulus is given. You should be able to calculate the fiber volume fraction using this data. Can you solve? I think it will take about 15 minutes of time, but make sure to solve it because there are many calculations that you have to do. So step 1, find out the fiber volume fraction. A continuous carbon fiber composite has transverse modulus of 5 gigapascal. The properties of the carbon fiber and the matrix are given to you. Top left hand corner, what is the fiber volume fraction? That is step 1. If you get a question like this, don't complain that data is incomplete. Data is not incomplete. You can calculate.
So it is given as 0.5 only in the question itself.
No. Sometimes it will not be given. I am saying that if it is not given,
So
both
it
the
is
data is
coming.
not needed. You don't need the transverse modulus and the fiber volume fraction. If any one is given, you can calculate.
Yeah,
So
okay,
one
sir.
of the two things will be given to you. It just turns out that it is 0.5. If the fiber volume fraction is given, then transverse modulus will not be given. Both you don't need. Use inverse rule of mixture. Step 1. Does it come? I think it will come out to be 0.5. Yes. Is the fiber volume fraction 0.5 if the transverse modulus is 5?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It is coming out to be same only.
ठीक है. So good. So usually either the transverse modulus will be given or fiber volume fraction will be given in problems like this. Number 1, you have done this. Now number 2, look at the formula for 1 by Ex. What are the different constants that you will need? You will need E1, G12, Nu12 and E2. calculate all of that using rule of mixtures, because essentially you want to find out the value of Ex and Ey. To calculate the value of Ex and Ey, you need E1, G12, E1, Nu12, E2. E2 is known. Use rule of mixtures, calculate E1, G12, Nu12. E1 is 116.5, that is right, basically. Then the next one I am getting the answer from you, which says Nu12 is 0.31. 0.25, correct. And what is G12? Nu12 is rule of mixtures or inverse rule of mixtures?
Rule of mixture.
Rule of mixtures.
Be careful, huh? This is, and G12 is inverse rule of
Inverse
mixtures.
rule.
1.982. Three people have given me this answer. Please confirm. 1.98 gigapascal. Is 1.98 gigapascal correct? Everybody is getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the value of Ex and Ey? Given that 5, so m is cos 5, n is sin 5 in degrees.
Sir, is it 81.76 EX?
I don't know. I think it will fall down dramatically. So it seems logical, but I have not solved it myself, please. So more than one person has to give me the answer. So the first answer of Ex is 88.6 gigapascal. Can anybody else also confirm this? And what is Ey?
So EX is I am getting 81.76.
81.76. Anybody else is getting some other answer? And EY?
Yes, sir. EX is 81.84.
81, 81.8. Somebody is saying 81.76, 81.84. I think this is happening due to number of digits taken for sine 5 and number of digits also taken for G12. Try to be accurate at least to 2 places of decimal.
Sir, 4.98 UI.
How can EY also come down? E2 was 5. It cannot come down. It has to increase. It will increase slightly, but it will increase, not decrease.
Sir, it is coming 4.98.
Yes, sir,
EY.
it is coming that only.
So how much is EY? EY is how much is sine 5 degrees? Sine 5 to the power 4. So 5.77 into 1 by E1, 1 by 116.5. How much is m square n square?
Sir, I have used directly in the equation itself only. I have not approximated cos 5 and sin 5.
Now, but EY should be greater than E2. Na? I mean, if you look at the curves, E1 is decreasing, E2 is increasing. It cannot decrease. Let us look at the formula in that case. M square into the power 4. What is the value of, in this E1 and E2, you have not used EX, yes?
Yes, sir, we
Right.
have used E1 and E2 only.
One minute. Can others also confirm you are getting the same value, that EY less than E2?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, the value is 4.98.
Something is wrong. Wait. One minute, I'm opening a textbook. I want to double check the formulas. This is the same formula in the textbook in slightly different format. Please try to put in this and see if you are getting the same value. EY is equal to E1 divided by this term. This is the book by Herakovich.
Sir, same only 4.981. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir, coming.
Should not be. What is wrong? Normally EX should decrease, EY should increase. That is the whole point. So what are we doing wrong here? No 1, 2 is, let's go to this line. No 1, 2 is linear. That is also correct. And G12 is 1.98. That is also correct. Let me come back to you. Something is somewhere we are making a mistake. EY cannot be lower than E2. It has to increase. It can increase slightly. That is possible, but it cannot decrease. So 5.01, 5.02, some number like that is okay, but lower than that is not possible. What is the value of G12 that we took?
1.9815.
I will come back to you about this. I think the formula is right, the data is right. Somehow something is wrong. EY cannot be lower than E2. It has to be higher. Okay, so but it will not be so. I mean, the drop of E1 was from 116 to 80. So it was about 33, 30% drop. EY will not increase by 30%, but it should increase. Another point is that this modulus is not a zero-sum game. I mean, E1 plus E2 not equal to EX plus EY. The increase or decrease can be disproportionate. Okay, but let us keep this open. After this class is over, I will try to calculate it myself. Somewhere something is wrong. It cannot be lower. It has to be higher. It can be 5.01, but it will not be 4.98. Okay, I will come back. Okay. So one important thing is when a question like this was given few years ago, one of the students tried to do the following. He, instead of finding the average properties, he started with the carbon fiber properties and calculated the carbon fiber properties at 5 degrees and then used the rule of mixtures. Will that lead to the correct answer or wrong answer?
So that will be wrong now, because
that will be wrong because he is modeling a completely different physics. it came out to be approximately same, and there was argument it is plus 1%, it is plus minus 1%, but it was coincidental. That is wrong. You have to calculate the property of the composite and then transform the composite properties by 5 degrees. If you transform the carbon fiber properties by 5 degrees, that is not correct. Okay. Now, let us look at the final question. This is very easy in the sense no calculations are needed. So read this question, tell me the answer. If you look at the microstructure, what can you see about the microstructure? Is it isotropic, orthotropic, transversely isotropic, monoclinic? What can you say?
Sir, it is isotropic, sir.
No, it is not isotropic.
Transversely isotropic.
Yes, if it is transversely isotropic, y will be equal to minus 0.0375. Yes. Even if it is not transversely isotropic, the stiffness matrix has to be symmetric. The compliance matrix has to be symmetric. So y is equal to minus 0.0375. What is the value of x?
.0833.
In this 0.0833 or 0.125. Look at the coordinate axis system that has been defined.
.125, sir.
0.125, yes. Because the plane of symmetry is 1, 2, not 2, 3. Okay, what is the value of Z?
.2, sir.
Z is what?
0.2.
No, but what quantity it is?
C66 or C55.
Z is C55. C55 was 1. This corresponds to 1 by G. Which one?
13.
G13 is equal to G1. It is G13 is what? Will be equal to which quantity? G23. G13 is equal to G23. Out of 0.25 and 0.2, which is G23? Which corresponds to 1 by G23?
0.25.
0.25, that is correct. Okay. Now, what is the value of nu12? Before that, there is one more question in this. Something is wrong with the compliance matrix. Bonus points if you can spot the error. Something has been intentionally put wrong. Can you spot?
So the number below x, that is C32 minus 0.009. It should be minus 0.03125 or the vice versa.
So this is one error, that the stiffness matrix is not shown to be symmetric. Hai na?
Yes, sir.
Both should. Anything else? There is one more error which I have intentionally put to explain the concept of material symmetry. The material is symmetric about 1, 2 axis. If material is symmetric about 1, 2 axis, then which two terms must be same? Should 1, 2 equal to 1, 3? C12 is equal to C13 according to this. Sorry, S12 is equal to S13 according to this. Should S12 be equal to 13? The material is symmetric about 1, 2, not 2, 3. If you look at this figure, material is symmetric about 1, 2. But this matrix is saying that this term, which is S12, is equal to S13. Should S12 be equal to S13? Or 1, 3 should be equal to 2, 3?
So 1, 3 should be equals to 2, 3.
So as a part of this question, can you write the correct compliance matrix? What do you think should be the correct? Can you unjumble everything, write it accurately? Those two mistakes which I have intentionally put, you have spotted, very good. But now, can you write the correct compliance matrix? What is the correct form of it? Is this correct, do you think? Or it still requires some correction? I have and C12 is different.
So it is correct. No.
Now, can you find the value of nu12 and nu23? The material is symmetric about 1, 2 coordinate axis system. So what can I say about nu12 and nu23? They have to be equal or not? What is nu12? Will it be same as nu23 or different? Can I say nu12 is equal to minus 0.03125 divided by 0.125?
Multiplied by 0.125. No.
No. So look at this chart. Nu12 is equal to 1 by E1 is given to you, this term is given to you, this term is given to you. So what is the value of nu12? Look at this form of the compliance matrix. Now give me the value of nu12 and nu23.
So it's 0.3.
0.3.
So 0.25, sir.
0.25, no? Basically
Yes,
it
sir.
is 0.0 minus 0.03125. So y is equal to minus 0.03125 minus of minus 0.03125 divided by 0.125 is equal to 0.25. I think it is 0.25. What is nu23? Zero 0.3125 is given. I did not find it, Tarun. It is part of the problem. What is nu23? Is minus 0.0375 divided by 0.125.
That will be 0.3, sir.
0.3. Okay, so this brings me, so these were the 3-4 problems that I wanted to discuss. This brings me to the end of the theory part that I want to cover, that I wanted to cover before the test. Anybody has any questions or any doubts on the theory part, or can I start the discussion on the very interesting case study that I have planned? Okay, if not, then I am stopping to share this. I will upload these 4 questions also for you. You can have a look. You can try to solve it. And let us look at a very interesting application of what we have studied so far. Okay. I am also stopping the recording because case study will